let's pull up the 4B. So, okay, Trump won the election on Tuesday. A lot of women been very upset. Yeah, go ahead. We'll pull it up. All right, so the 4B movement is a radical feminist movement. It first emerged during the South Korean gender wars during the mid to late 2010s. The name refers to its defining 4 tenets, which all start with the Korean roughly meaning no. Its proponents refuse to date, get married, have sex, or have children with cisgender men. As opposed to cisgender women? Okay. Scroll down. Oh, wait, actually, sorry. Go back up really quick. And it says, interest in 4B increased in the United States after the re-election of Donald Trump in the 2024 presidential race. Like the radical feminist movements it arose out of, a small subset of it has been accused of furthering a what? Okay.
Transphobia.
Well, I know what it says. However, most proponents of the movement. Okay, scroll down. So these are the beliefs, the 4 no's. No sex with men, bisexu, no giving birth. Anybody here speak Korean? No, okay. All right. No giving birth. Okay, whatever. No dating men, no marriage with men.
This is a nun.
So.
That's a nun.
So. It's a nun.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Well, it's a fucking idiot is what it is. This is the funniest thing in the world. So here's the idea here. The idea here is that a bunch of Christian Bible-thumping conservatives told a bunch of OF prostitutes, hey, we want you to stop being OF prostitutes. In response to this, by taking away what they perceive as their right to abortion, they're saying that they're going to immediately stop being prostitutes. I think it's hilarious and in every way conceivable funny. They're basically playing into exactly what was requested of them, right? Which is, well, you wouldn't have as many abortions if you weren't out sleeping with everything that walked. So by you not doing that, you're not going to have as many abortions. This is the point, right?
Where was that in the article?
He just gave his take on it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I didn't read any of that.
And I would say not everything that walked and paid. Let's get that clear.
Hello.
Yeah, right.
What's wrong with prostitutes?
So here's the general idea. Conservative Christians are saying, look, we don't want there to be abortions, and we think that there will be way less abortions if men and women aren't having promiscuous sex. I agree, that's logical, right? Yes. The less sex that's being had outside of marriage, obviously the less abortions there's going to be. Mm-hmm. The radical feminist response to this is, oh yeah, well, we'll teach you a lesson by not having sex. I don't see how this is hurting the other side, since that's what they wanted to begin with. I don't actually understand why they're not basically playing into the right wing's hand with this.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
They just sound like a bunch of weirdos. What?
I get what you just said. So to break down the 4B, is it a term that you call someone? Is it a movement?
Well, here,
could you explain that?
Well, let's break it down more simply. Forget 4B, right? You'll see this trend all over TikTok, and you'll see it all over social media right now with women who are not just radical feminists, but just kind of Harris supporters. And so their essential argument is this: if we can't have abortions, right, then we're just going to stop sleeping around with men. We're just going to stop having sex with men. And this is our way of teaching men a lesson for trying to involve themselves in the details of our bodies. The right wing and conservative right wingers who are like, okay, great, we didn't want you to be having promiscuous sex, which led to abortions anyway, so this is fantastic. So I don't understand how that doesn't actually play against the Harris supporting women exactly.
And that's called 4B? I don't understand. Well, you said
where they're
that.
boycotting men.
So 4B
yeah, they're
means
boycotting
choosing
sex
to
with
boycott men. They're basically
Like
choosing
where
not to
they're
have sex, not to get married, not to date, not to talk to
Right.
men.
And that's being 4B?
That's the 4B movement.
Yeah, let's just say that's
Oh, okay.
4B, yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
That just, okay.
But to kind of play into this, doesn't it seem that feminists who would make the claim that women are more than their sexuality and their sexual identity and are not to be objectified as purely sexual objects, if the very first response that they have to men voting en masse that abortions be outlawed to say we'll no longer have sex with you, aren't they essentially just kind of saying that they're sexual objects?
Kind of in a way. I could see that.
Yeah, kind of in a way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's ultimately very ironic that that these women's very first kind of response is to say, "Oh yeah, well we're not going to fuck random people anymore." It's like, well, that was the point, right?
It sucks for you guys, huh?
Yeah. I feel like a majority of the masses did what you implied that they did, which is probably factual. But, you know, if someone it calls me lazy and I do everything opposite to prove that I'm not, I don't see the bad part of it.
No, but okay, well, I understand what you're saying, but let me maybe give you the response to this, right? Let's say somebody says, okay, you need to go to work because you're lazy, and you're like, I'm not lazy. That's not true, right? I'll show you by going to work. Right? Aren't you doing exactly what they wanted you to do in the first place? Like that, right? Like that you're doing what they wanted you to do to begin with. So wouldn't that be the same case with abortions where they're like, we want you to stop sleeping with men so you have less abortions. And you're like, well, I'll teach you by sleeping with less men so I don't have abortions, right?
Right, I get the concept, yeah.
Yeah. It just seems like it's the same, you're applying the same thing here, right? So that's the general idea.
All right, we have a few guys. You said chivalry is dead.
Because of men speaking the way that you guys are.
Like how I'm speaking?
There's a couple of things you said that I'm not going to remember. But chivalry is dead just because I think of how we're trying to think about our modern dating. Like, however this abortion conversation went was completely left field for me in my head. Like, this whole abortion thing was not because girls are having sex. This abortion thing was because we are not supposed to be having sex. Or abortion is not supposed to be used as birth control. This is like,
okay. Well,
I'm thinking about the baby, not like just sex wise. Did I make sense? Was I rambling?
Yeah, but how? I know it doesn't make any sense.
Sorry.
Why would you need to use birth control if you're not having sex?
Well, the fact of the matter is, anyone making a baby is having sex, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're having sex, right, and you're worried about having a baby, right, you should be on birth control so that way you don't have to abort it.
Yeah, but if you're not having sex, you don't have to worry about having babies, right?
Correct. Yeah, I would say that that's factual.
So then if the idea here is that, got it. So then the idea here then is that if women aren't having sex, they're not going to be having babies that they need to abort.
Well, the idea here is that women, we're not nuns. We're going to be having sex. For you to find a husband, for you to want children, you have to have sex for that.
Why do you have to have sex to find a husband?
No. I think that's just an unrealistic thing to say.
What? Why is that unrealistic to say?
The only reason why you get a husband is to have sex with him. That's the only person that you could do that with.
I think it's to find a partner.
There's many.
Well, you can choose for the rest of your life. The only other thing is that.
I think for years it was the norm. Like
you can have
in the Bible, the whole Bible is like they waited, and up till now, like up till like 20 years ago, it was not normal to have sex outside of marriage.
Well, I wasn't negating that. I believe that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, for me, my husband that I pick, because I could pick a best friend, I could pick a business partner, I could pick somebody else. The only person in that space that I'm gonna be fucking. Sorry, that was bad.
It's okay, go ahead.
That I'm gonna be having sex with is my husband. So I'm gonna take that highly into consideration compared to like, but a best friend, I could have one of those.
Well, you should have it all. Like,
Correct,
all of
you're
it.
right. I agree.
So hold on. So let's explore this though. You said chivalry is dead.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
So, what is chivalry?
To me, I think it's somebody, or whether it's a male or female, doing the best that they can to put both of us in the best position that we can. With respect.
What does that mean?
To put me in a better spot.
Doesn't chivalry have to do with traditional gender roles as it relates to men's treatment towards
women? So chivalry, going back to the domestic violence, would be me picking somebody who leads me enough to where we're not getting worse hurt.
If you smack him, he doesn't smack you back? That was your argument.
No, my argument was if I hit somebody, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Well, I'll tell
The chivalrous thing to do would be to step back, is what she was saying.
Oh yes, the chivalrous thing. Thank you.
Yeah, but hold on. Wait. Hold on. Does a lady ever strike a man?
No.
Right. So who's deserving of chivalry?
Everybody.
No. No. Hold on. Chivalry is from men to women. Women are not chivalrous to men.
Well,
It's a unidirectional. It's one directional. So, and typically, who's going to be chivalrous? A gentleman, right?
I think it goes both
Okay.
ways.
Is a woman who is not a lady deserving of chivalry?
Is a woman.
So you would agree?
Not ladylike.
Okay, so
That
No,
proves my
Brian, slow-
point.
slow
That
down,
proves
slow
my
down,
point.
slow down, Brian.
That proves my point. It goes back and forth. For
Slow
a man
down.
to be chivalrous to a woman has to act correctly. Correct. I agree.
right, so a woman who is not acting like a lady is not deserving of chivalry.
I think we all are deserving. I think it's up to the. I don't. You're right. I'll give you that one for right now. Yeah. You're right. Okay.
Well, okay,
If she's not
so-
acting right, yeah, she doesn't
So
deserve it.
is a man who is not a gentleman, he's not chivalrous, is he deserving of a lady? Does he deserve to date a lady?
No.
No.
Okay.
Not if he's not acting right. If you're not acting
Right.
right, you don't deserve a good woman.
Right. So in no scenario, because you're saying, well, there should be chivalrous treatment towards the woman, but you've precluded yourself from being treated as a lady by striking him.
I've seen great guys who are real gentlemen who could see a girl act like a ratchet bitch and they would still treat her with the same respect as a
sure.
normal
Perhaps-
woman.
Well,
Sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm almost done. So I'll even grant to you that absolutely a woman could be ratchet. She could be a degenerate sex worker. She could be the least ladylike possible. And there's plenty of men who are quite, in my opinion, have absolutely no boundaries, no standards, who are simps, who will still, despite her unladylike conduct, will still, because they're pathetic or simps or desperate for pussy, whatever it is,
I agree.
who are doormats who just get walked all over, who will still give that kind of treatment to those kinds of women.
Correct. Yeah.
It happens all the time. I don't disagree with you at all. My argument here, though, is that those women don't deserve it. They might get that treatment, but they don't deserve it.
I see where you're coming from. I definitely see where you're coming from. I just think that sometimes people just need to see it. You know, that girl that's acting like a ratchet, you know, she hasn't seen it yet. So the first guy who shows her how a real man acts, he just gave her
So Captain
like
Save-Ho?
he just gave her that.
He's got to come.
She
and,
was
like,
saving a hoe with her man. She was paying for his bills.
You just called her a hoe?
No,
Are you gonna let
I
her?
was calling her.
Are you gonna let her call?
I wasn't
No.
talking
You
about
literally
her.
just called her a
She
hoe.
knows what I said.
She
No,
said, I
no,
was
she
saving
called
a
the
hoe.
man. She called the man the hoe.
Yeah.
Wait,
She
the
was
man
Captain Save a
Oh, she was
hoe.
Captain Save a hoe.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
So
Yeah, she was.
So
telling the man.
you're
Well, let
saying
me-
her man was a hoe?
yeah.
Well, he
Did
kinda
you hear
was.
what he
He kinda
said?
was
Did
a
you
hoe.
hear her story?
Brian,
He was a hoe.
he kind of was, but
He was a hoe.
So yeah, he was a hoe. So over to this, I would like to ask you a question though. Do you think that men were much more chivalrous in the 1800s and early 1900s, like 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s? Do you think they were more chivalrous or less chivalrous?
I mean, it depends because, like, I know that there were women.
Whoa! Hang on, let's not use the R word.
use,
here, right?
different
Oh, I'm
word.
sorry,
Use,
but you know what I meant.
use,
Like they were
essay.
they were
Just
more.
use Yeah, I understand. Just use essay. It doesn't
Essay,
offend me.
essay
It's just for the purpose of the platform.
I apologize.
Yeah, it's not a problem. But do you think that they were more or less chivalrous?
Anybody else want to answer this question?
That was for
Well,
you.
I'm just
though.
asking-
It
I'm
was for
asking
you.
you.
I can answer it. I think it depends. It's a black and white thing. Yes, I do
Let's
think that
not
they were
bring
more.
race.
Well, if it's,
they were
if it's
more.
black and white, then it doesn't depend.
No, I didn't mean it like
Let's
that.
not
You guys
bring-
keep on twisting my shit.
Don't be racist. There's Asian people too.
Okay.
Yeah,
And Native American.
That's not what I meant.
Hang on, one second.
That's not
One
what I
second.
meant.
Haitians.
Sorry.
I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just trying to talk to you. So,
No,
but
I'm not
when
worried
you
about
say
it.
when you say something is black or white, then that means is or isn't. So it
Yeah.
wouldn't be black or white. You would say it's nuanced, right? You'd say
It's like there's a
nuanced.
fine
It's like-
line. Like in the 1800s, they were picking you up on horses. They weren't like,
Horses.
yeah, the 1800s. They didn't have cars. They had horses.
Well, do you think that we had peak chivalry then in the age of chivalry, like the medieval age?
I don't think so.
I mean, that's where.
But well, then when did we have?
They
all
were
this
crazy
chivalry?
back in the day. They were.
That was
nuts.
the age of chivalry. That's where chivalry came from.
Just like where the term came from.
It came from knights with lances who were, here's my token, my lady, right? That's chivalry, right?
Right, like think of
they lived by the chivalric code. It was an actual code of conduct.